let me give you some portfolio advice, okay? Because you have to submit a portfolio, whether it's to get onto UAL Art Foundation or the Art Pre-Foundation, the Art Preparation course, you have to submit a portfolio. So let me give you some advice about this. For our foundation, the UAL Foundation, please provide 5 to 10 pieces of your very, very best work, okay? Always go for quality, not quantity. Only include your favorite pieces, right? So it's much, much better to only have 5 pieces, which are absolutely excellent, than 10 pieces or 20 pieces, you know, some of which are good, some of which are bad, some of which are okay. Only include your best pieces. Never, ever include pieces just to make your portfolio bigger. If you are a serious art student, buy a sketchbook, buy one now, okay? And a sketchbook to an artist is very much like what a gun is to a soldier, okay? So a gun to a soldier is like their best friend. They will have their gun with them everywhere. They will eat with their gun. They will sleep with their gun. They will go to the toilet with their gun, okay? Everywhere they go, they will have their gun with them, a soldier. You should do the same with your sketchbook. Buy a sketchbook and keep the sketchbook with you at all times. Whenever you get an idea, if you're sitting on the bus, on the train, on the subway, or whatever it is, just in your room, get this idea and put it in your sketchbook. Scribble it down, write your idea, okay? Never, ever delete anything from your sketchbook. All of your ideas, all of your inspiration goes into this sketchbook, right? Keep mistakes in there because you learn from your mistakes. Fill every single page of that sketchbook, okay? And it's good to include work both from your high school and also work that you have done outside of high school as a hobby, if possible. If you can do that, try and submit both types of work into your portfolio. And it would be good as well to let us know which works you did as a hobby and which works you did as coursework for your high school. Always, always try to include pencil and paintings in your portfolio, right? And the reason why is because art teachers can tell your art potential and how good you are and what your technique is like by looking at drawings you have done with pencils and paintings. You can't really tell with things like photographs or graphic design. And so always try to include pencil sketches and paintings as part of your portfolio. If you can, and I know it's not always possible, try to experiment with a range of materials. So yeah, do include pencil drawings and paintings, but if you can, maybe use some fabrics, okay? If you can do some 3D design, use some 3D design or graphics or photography. Try to use a range of materials if possible, okay? Because it shows that you are skilled across a range of mediums. But if you can't do that, that's okay, because we do understand not every student will have access to a lot of different materials in their school. If your final art piece is something called a composition, then you need to show the process of how you got to that final piece. A composition is not just a simple drawing. A composition is basically a drawing which is made up of lots of different drawings, like random drawings put together. So it's not just like one drawing. And so what you have to understand is a portfolio is like a maths exam. What do I mean by that? So on a maths exam, you only ever get 1 mark for getting the final correct answer. Most of the marks that you actually get are from the calculations, right? How you got to that final answer. A portfolio is basically the same thing. And so your final piece is just kind of almost like 1 mark in some ways. You get most of your marks if you demonstrate how the journey from the original idea, the inspiration, and how it evolved and grew and changed to your final piece. And so think of a portfolio like a maths exam. You've got to show the calculations as to how you got to the final answer. On your portfolio, always put your favorite piece first. Don't put your favorite piece until last. Have your best pieces at the beginning of your portfolio, okay? So it has a good impact as soon as they open up your portfolio. Now, when submitting your portfolio through for assessment, whether it's for the art preparation program or the UAL Art Foundation, most students will take photographs of their artworks and then basically email through your photographs. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's probably the only way you can do that, to be honest with you. If you do take photographs, make sure the photos are good photos, okay? So make sure they're taken at a good angle. The lighting is good. The focus and the resolution of the camera is perfect, because a bad photo will make a good art piece look bad. And so it's no problem at all taking photos to send through as your portfolio. Just make sure that they are good photos. Don't take bad photos, okay? If you have to mount your artworks, mounting means basically putting something on the back of it, then leave a small border around the edge. It just looks better. But don't do this, okay? Do not copy work. Don't use borrowed work from your friends or family or anything, or things that you've seen off the internet or anything like this, or books. Just don't copy work, right? Because you've got to remember, art tutors have seen so many different thousands and thousands of artworks and portfolio. They can tell when you've kind of copied something. So just don't do it. Do not include any weak artworks just to make your portfolio bigger. Only include your favorite pieces. I've mentioned that before. Don't trace, right? So trace is where you put a thin piece of paper over a picture and then you just copy it. Don't do that. Don't trace, don't copy another drawing. All of your drawings have to be original drawings. Don't do that. Don't take bad photos. I've mentioned that before, but I'll mention it again because you'd be surprised how many students submit a portfolio taking really lazy, bad photographs of their artworks, and it just makes their portfolio look bad. Don't do that. My advice to you is, on your portfolio, do not submit drawings like the Japanese manga or the Japanese anime style drawings, the cartoon drawings and the comic drawings with the big manga style eyes. I love those drawings. Honestly, I love it. I watch manga cartoons and I read comics and things like this. I really like those drawings, but I am telling you now, university art teachers hate those drawings. I am telling you now. Too many university art academics have said that to me. And so my advice to you is, do not include any of those Japanese comic style drawings in your portfolio. If you do have to mount your artworks, keep it simple. Don't over mount it. Don't make it look complicated and messy. Just keep it really, really simple. And I'm going to finish off by giving you some sample portfolios from our students. All of these portfolios were students who successfully entered UAL, and these were their final portfolios. I cannot show you all of the portfolios because every portfolio had about 25 or 30 pieces in them. And so, yeah, I just can't do that. But just to give you an example, so this was a student who wanted to do textiles at UAL, and this was a small part of his final portfolio to enter textiles. He successfully got an offer and met the requirements. And so he is currently studying textiles now in UAL. And so just some example portfolios there. This student was interested in studying animation and successfully got into animation at UAL. By the way, just because you want to study animation or moving images, it doesn't mean that you have to submit a portfolio of moving images and animation. That's not necessary at all. You just need to submit a good portfolio. And so she submitted things like sketches, for example. This is actually part of her sketchbook. And so this is a sketchbook that I am telling you now, buy one, keep it with you all the time, like a soldier has his gun. And she's included that as part of her final portfolio piece. A lot of students will do that. This student was from Taiwan. And so this is just a painting, watercolor painting of a street in Taipei. These are some abstract drawings that she did, again, with watercolors. Again, this is from her sketchbook. Buy that sketchbook, keep it with you all the time. It's super, super important. And some stencil drawing. Okay, so this is like sort of a bit like printmaking, I guess, using a stencil. And some drawings. And I think that drawing in the top right, I think that's her mum. And some negative style drawings as well, just experimenting. This student wanted to study jewelry design, and so this was her portfolio. She is now studying jewelry design at UAL. If I recall correctly, she's actually using her sketchbook as a lot of the portfolio because her sketchbook was quite strong. And so you can see that she's made it a bit different with a black background, contrasting against the white skulls and the white writing. Looks pretty nice, actually. Some drawings here. This is observational drawings of a skull, highlighting textures, some more of a sketchbook. Remember, buy that sketchbook. All of your ideas go into that sketchbook. Never delete anything. Okay, this is a student who wanted to do product design at UAL. And so unsurprisingly, he actually focused on making 3D design projects and products themselves. And so he was actually focusing on working on this, what's called a tricycle. It's got 3 wheels, and he designed it from scratch, showed all of his designs and drawings. This is the final piece. Other ideas and thoughts. And yeah, basically, he's basically showing the process of how we got there. These are other ideas and thoughts and just ideas going, and this would have been in his scrapbook for sure. I'm absolutely sure of that. And so everything, all of your ideas, all of your thoughts go into your scrapbook. Graphic design. Okay, so this was a student. Where was she from? I think she was from Hong Kong, if I remember correctly, I think. And she wanted to do graphics, and she is doing graphics now at UAL. All of these are successful portfolios, by the way. They successfully entered UAL to do their chosen subject. And she's doing quite a lot of different what's called collages. I'm not sure how you'd say that in Korean. I'm so sorry. My Korean, I can only say 감사합니다. She's experimenting with different colors and negatives and so forth. And this is just some abstract, looks like water painting. It looks to me like, I think that was her niece or her younger sister. And so those are just some example portfolios to show you. And these students successfully entered UAL, and they are in UAL now. Our teachers write guidebooks. I don't know if you know this. And so they write a lot of books which are available for purchase from Amazon. These books are so good that other schools buy these books from MPW to put into their school library. And so we have lots of books like, you know, how to write a UCAS application, how to get into Oxford and Cambridge, getting into medicine, getting into dentistry, getting into vet science, how to study business and economics courses, and so on. And of course, we have one about getting into art and design courses. If you are interested in coming to MPW to study UAL Art Foundation or Art Portfolio Preparation Program, or even Art A-levels or Art GCSEs, have a chat with Suno, have a chat with People Loving. I will be very, very happy to send free copies of these guidebooks to Suno and People Loving, and just have a word with them. And then you can go along to their office in Seoul to collect a copy from them. Okay, but just talk to People Loving if you want a copy of the guidebooks.